Season 4 is already looking like it could redefine everything we thought we knew about the entire series as a whole. If you've been watching since Season 1, you know how many layers the show has built over time. The mythology, the monsters, the time loops, and the very mysterious entities. But Season 3 left us with so many new, fresh questions, and based on the clues left throughout the finale and the series as a whole, Season 4 might finally start pulling back the curtain on some of those show's deepest secrets. Let's start with production timelines. Season 4 is scheduled to begin filming in Nova Scotia during summer 2025. So personally, I think that we should all expect it in June or July, obviously, or August. Based on the timelines of previous seasons, we can expect about 5 months of filming, followed by several more months of post-production, so 3 months or 4 at least. That puts the projected release somewhere in early 2026. It's a longer wait than usual, but it might be worth it if it means that creators can take the time they need to get everything right for this upcoming season, especially considering how high the stakes have become for the story as a whole. Now, as for the story itself, Season 3 ended with several game-changing reveals. The biggest one is probably the confirmation about the monsters and how they were once human before they became demons, monsters. Now this actually changes everything, because if they were people before, how did they become what they are now? Was it voluntary? Punishment, some sort of transformation process linked to the town's strange rules and history and origins? Season 4 needs to start answering these questions now. Not just because of what the monsters are, but why they exist and who or what is behind their creation. Another major development is the introduction of time travel, or at least time-related phenomena. Julie appears to be what the show calls a story walker, someone who can witness past events, though not necessarily change them. This isn't just a freaking cool power, it could be key to unraveling the mystery of the town itself. If she can see the past, she might be able to trace the town's history back to its roots, back to the first people who arrived, or even the original formation of the place. And this ties directly into the show's long-running visual hint. For example, Victor's drawings. They've already seemed important, eerie, prophetic, and strange. He's drawn everything from tsunamis to monstrous spiders to what looks like soldiers in ancient buildings, but what if these aren't just some random images? What if they're fragmented memories or observations from different time periods? If Julie's time walking allows her to witness these events firsthand, the show could finally start connecting the dots. We might see the tsunami that Victor drew. We might finally understand what those giant damn spiders represent. And we could get real context for the strange mix of time periods and architecture throughout the town. The town itself is also a mystery. Why is there a 1950s diner right next to much older structures? Why does the landscape seem to exist outside of time entirely, Julie's ability could allow us to see how those patches of time were stitched together, almost like layers of sediment in an archaeological dig. She may even see Victor as a child or witness the earliest eras of the town's development. Then there's the reincarnation angle. Season 3 revealed that Tabitha and Jade are reborn versions of Miranda and Christopher, past figures who with deep ties to the town's history. This raises an entirely new set of questions. How many of the people currently trapped in the town are reincarnations of previous inhabitants? What knowledge or memories might be buried in their subconscious minds themselves? And could this explain some of the strange behaviors or instincts we've seen from them over time? David, for instance, seems to have a natural familiarity with certain objects. That might be due to his past life experience. If Tabitha and Jade now understand that they've lived through this before, it could drive them to make different choices in season 4, possibly learning from their past failures and trying to finally break the cycle that has trapped so many others. Combining Julie's ability to view from the past from Tabitha and Jade's awareness of their former lives open up a powerful dynamic. Julie could uncover the what, the events and patterns that have played all over time, while Tabitha and Jade could supply the why, using their buried knowledge to interpret what those events mean. That kind of narrative pairing could be exactly what's needed to push the story forward in a major way. First, we also can't ignore the emotional consequences of everything that happened in season 3. The grief, the trauma, the human toll. Kenny lost his mother in an extremely brutal way, and that's going to affect how he navigates things going forward. He and Julie might form a closer bond as they process their losses of their parents. Maybe even talking and taking on more responsibility as other characters fall into emotional despair. Elgin's injury is another reminder of the real-world consequences of living in a place like this. Losing his eyes is just a visual cue that something terrible happened. It's a permanent symbol of how dangerous and scary the town really is. And with Boyd still reeling from the consequences of his actions, including the death of Jim and the return of Smiley, we could see his roles later start to deteriorate. There's a real possibility that Kenny could step up and take on more of a leadership position, especially if Boyd is too consumed by guilt or too focused on the bigger picture to handle the day-to-day decisions. Another unresolved thread is Fatima's transformation, or potential transformation. Her being marked by one of the creatures raises some serious questions about whether she's still fully human. Is she going to turn? Is there a point of no return? How does that affect her relationship with Ellis, her husband? And what does it mean for the town's overall safety? And finally, we come back to the man in yellow. This character remains one of the biggest unknowns. We know he's dangerous. He killed Jim without hesitation, dude, but we don't know what he is yet. Is he the true villain of the show? A representation of a larger force at play? A former victim who has taken on a new role in the cycle of control? Season 4 needs to explore his backstory and, more importantly, his motivation. Why does he enforce the rules? What does he gain from suffering and the repetition? One theory that's starting to emerge among fans is that the man in yellow and the boy in white might actually be two sides of the same entity. One represents control, despair, and punishment. The other represents guidance, help, and sacrifice. It's possible that the two are playing out some kind of cosmic game with the people trapped in the town as pawns. The recurring imagery of chess supports this idea. We've seen chess pieces in several episodes, held by characters like Father Cotter or placed casually in the background. Maybe that's a metaphor for what's really going on here. If the show is building toward a confrontation between those two forces, creation versus destruction, free versus control, and free will versus control, season 4 could be the point where that conflict finally becomes clear. So overall, season 4 has a lot of ground to comb over. It needs to advance the mythology, pay off character arcs, and start tying together threads that have been dangling since season 1. But based on the clues we've already seen, it feels like the show's heading towards something big. If the writers can stick the landing, could transform from a mystery box show into a fully realized sci-fi horror mythology show with real wit and meaning behind every twist and turn. Let me know your thoughts. What are your most excited scenes from season 4? What are your theories that you're holding on to? And what do you think is the ultimate purpose of the town and the entities that run it? I'm That One Gamer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.